Well, hello there. I am Taylor, and you are listening to the Surviving Maine podcast. We are down to the final three, and today we have my interview with the third place finisher of Surviving Maine 2019. If you know him, you love him. His name is Tony. We are going to hear all about just how it was that he and Cameron made their final two deal. There's some, not pre-gaming, but kind of like a Ponderosa thing going on that I didn't know about before. And we will also hear what Tony thinks was his biggest mistake in the game. But before we get to that, here are Liza's thoughts on Tony.
I didn't know what to expect out of Tony. Pre-game, or even like in the beginning of the game. I still didn't think I understood Tony as a human until, there were more people voted out. And I think he had a lot of luck on his side to last that long. But I definitely think what got him there was his bonds with people and the fact that they thought they could trust him. Mm-hmm. And, he tried to play like he was on everybody's side, which helped him out and helped him get there.
And it wouldn't be a Surviving Maine podcast if we didn't hear from Tricky. So here's some stuff Tricky had to say about Tony.
Tony and I don't know. Tony and I feel like we never really had any relationship, but I can respect the hell out of Tony. I can respect Tony just because when we came on, Tony just seemed like the one person that didn't fit in. He was super quiet. He was doing his own thing. And at the time, just because I was super paranoid about going home early, I really pushed hard. I pushed hard to try and get Tony to be the first boo because in my mind, it's already clicking. I'm like, we're here 4 days. And so if we don't take him out soon, he's going to make it to the end. And I felt like people, because of the short time frame, were already thinking about the end game. They were already trying to solidify that. And so that's what I tried to do as well with Becca. But Tony, he was doing just quiet things, just not really socializing. But there are moves he did make in the game that I felt like were very respectable. For example, the morning before our first challenge, so this is second day in the morning, we got told to gather up our stuff, and we're like, okay, we're probably going to swap. So we better get all our stuff ready. There's probably an idol around here. So let's go try and find it. And so me and Tony were walking in the woods, and Tony's just like, I will trust you no matter what. I'm with you guys. At that point, we had already formed an alliance between myself, Jazz, Sarah, Becca, Tony. And so that was 5 of the 9. And so he says, I'm loyal no matter what. And so we're looking for the idol, and out of nowhere, Tony's just gone. He's gone. I cannot find him. And at that point, he's doubled back to camp. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, he just left me to take the fall. And you know what? At that point, I'm like, well, I'm already searching for this thing. I may as well go for it. And I felt like at that time he was trying to put the target on me, because I think Tony felt the heat a little bit, and he was trying any which way to get it off of him. But yeah, that was one thing. And another time where I really respected Tony was at my vote out, where, at my vote out, I was an absolute paranoid, nervous wreck. Anyone can tell you. I was just so beside myself. And at that point, I'm like, there's no other way. I'm going to go. I'm the next target. And Tony just came up to me because I don't know. I think he might have thought like this would be a all-person jury. So everyone who left the game would be in the jury. And he just came up to me and he's just like, hey, you want to talk? And I'm like, I don't know if there's anything to talk about. He's just like, well, I'm here. Just let me know if you need anything. And I'm like, and I thought, this is jury management, but you know what? Damn it, if I don't need a time like this just to feel like someone doesn't hate me. Good on Tony. You know what? I feel like Tony was a super surprise super fan for me. Tony, I feel like his moves weren't big and flashy, but you know what? Do I like Tony coming out of this season? Absolutely. I haven't talked to Tony much because we didn't really have much of a relationship in the game. And also, he's just rarely on social media for me to connect. And so I don't know where to begin, but I do respect Tony. And the fact that he can outlast me, I mean, anyone who plays this game deserves that respect.
Mad respect for Tony from Tricky. And you may have heard this already on Jazzy's podcast. Check that out if you haven't. It's worth a listen. But here are some of Jazzy's thoughts on Tony.
When he did his little speech at the end, man, that brought tears to my eyes.
Same.
Like, it really hit me because he's so passionate about it. But one of the things that he had said that kind of bothered me was that he felt ostracized. And, there were so many times where I tried to pull him in to make decisions. I tried to pull him in to give him a little bit of opportunity to kind of take part. He didn't really bite. He was just kind of that loyal guy that will go along with it, which was the way that he played, and it got him further than me. So,
we love to talk trash about people who ride coattails, but they go pretty far in the game. And in real Survivor, that means they get a lot more money. So Tony actually didn't feel ostracized by Jazzy, and we will hear from him on how close he felt with Jazzy, which was surprising to me because it wasn't really captured on camera. But he did feel close to a few players, and we will hear all about that and all about his thoughts on the game right now. Tony, it's so good to talk to you today. Thank you for talking to me today.
Hi, good to see you. It's been forever.
I know. Okay. Basically, I'm just going to ask you a few questions, and you're just basically going to tell your whole story. Anything you want people to know about what happened that maybe wasn't captured by cameras, what strategic conversations you were having, what was going on in your head at different points in the game.
All right, I'll try my best to recap everything. I mean,
it's been a while, so it's hard.
Yeah. So, I do have dreams, and
really?
I do have a lot of memories, so good memories.
Yeah. Okay, so, well then let's start with that first day. Actually, you arrived a day early. Why don't we start there? What happened when you arrived at your pre-Ponderosa?
Well, I flew in from Evansville, Indiana, all the way to Portland, Maine, got picked up, and then transferred from Portland to Liza's house. And so from there, we got KFC that night, which is really good. And we're pretty much, they put me off like in another room. We got to watch Amazing Race that night, which was really cool. And it was really cold that night, and it was a lot colder than it was the next few days. But just, overall, just like the hospitality of everyone and like production was like, it was like 5 stars, everyone was so nice.
Nice.
And, there was one other person there, and his name was Cameron, but we had rules. We couldn't talk. So I abided by the rules and couldn't talk. And then the morning of the event, Forrest was the next one to show up, but once again, we couldn't talk. So it was me, Cameron, Forrest. So it was cool, like, just to see your competition, but you had to abide by rules, and that was the main thing. And it was worth it. It was worth, not, reaching out.
Yeah.
And obviously, I got put in tribe with Cameron, and Forrest got put on the other tribe. So it was just pretty cool, just seeing who I get to play with, like, before the game starts. But,
yeah, you had a little advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you got to camp, did you have a conversation, like when the game actually officially started, did you have a conversation with Cameron about like, hey, we should team up?
Well, like, getting to camp was so cool because we were blindfolded at first. The first day, me and Cameron said hi. We were like, hi and stuff, but like, it wasn't until day 2 that we had a legitimate conversation about the game. And then, like, from there on, like, everything was magic.
Okay.
Yeah. So, like, day 1 was just mainly working hard, showing my part, putting together the shelter, gathering rocks, gathering trees, So, like, I was just wanted to show that I was a hard worker before, we had nightfall.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
That we had
did you notice when we were doing confessionals with people that night as everyone was building their shelters, the shelter there, quite a few people mentioned how quiet you are and that they couldn't get a good read on you, and that if you had gone to tribal council that night, you probably would have gone home because you were so quiet. Did you notice any of that going on?
Well, like, day 1, I mainly, wanted to lay low. And to me, when I meet someone from my tribe, like, I want to get to know them, but like, sometimes myself, I don't like open up until like I'm around you more, and then like the magic happens. But like, I think, I don't know, early on I played a good game. I just didn't want to be as loud as Nick. You look at our tribe, you see me, you see other people, and then you see Nick. He's a great guy, great personality, but he talks a lot. And that's probably one of the reasons why, he was like first to go. But
yeah.
I don't know. I just didn't want to make myself too much of a target. It took a little bit for me to get out of my comfort zone, and then as the game progressed, more players opened up to me, more players trusted me, and like I say, like day 2, like when we went to right before first tribal, me and Cameron really started clicking well,
Mm-hmm.
And then things would start running. But I mean, it's a game. I mean, you got hours and hours, and like things change in matter of minutes, seconds. So I think things change. Things cross people's minds.
Yeah. So let's talk about that, because you guys didn't go to tribal council till day 2. So let's talk about what were your impressions day 1 and early day 2 of the other players. Like, did you have anyone you wanted to work with? Was there anyone that you wanted to target that you thought was a threat or you thought was weak? What were you thinking that first day and a half?
Well, the weakest person I saw was like Tricky. He kind of looked like a dangerous player. He kind of reminded me a lot like Cochran.
Okay.
Which is good for him. Like, Cochran's a strong player.
Right.
Obviously, I wanted to work with Cameron. I didn't reach out to day 2, but like I just thought it was like too early to make moves. I wanted to see how things would play out, and obviously was safe, for a while, and just like I really felt Jasmine like big personality, like she had good vibes about her. And then I also felt connected with, like Sarah and Becca, just talking to them, and that them trying to get to know you, like just like overall they're good, good individuals.
Yeah.
So like just making like small chit chat, and like it made me feel important, like person in the group.
Yeah, cool. So you actually played a live, at least one that I know of, Survivor game before, which was Reelfoot, before Maine even happened. So did you, like, based on that experience, did you have a game plan going into Surviving Maine?
Well, my season, Reelfoot, I love Reelfoot. I love Amos so much. I'm on season 4, and just the whole adventure going, I wanted to keep it a secret. During the whole game, I only had 2 people ask if I've ever done this, and I had to lie to them.
Okay.
It was Becca and Emily. They've asked if I've ever done anything, and I was like, no, I've never done anything like this. But like, I wanted to keep that secret, and just like, I just have so much fun, love for like surviving Reelfoot. And just my whole experience from that was like, I would say it's like cut short due to a twist.
Oh.
But like, I wanted to go back and play Survivor a second time,
Mm-hmm.
and I had so much to do. I had so much to blossom. I had so much more room to grow, and because of a twist, like things were cut short for me, but it was part of the game. So I wanted to go into Surviving Maine, like, keep this on the low, don't tell no one. Eventually I told a few people, like, after the game, but it's like, I had so much experience, just from, being Reelfoot, and just, I've been out with the bugs. I just, there's like, the whole environment going into Maine is different. There's a lot less bugs. It is a lot colder. But I mean, I think that was the advantage for me going into Maine, because I didn't have hardly as many bites as I had in my previous Survivor experience. Yeah.
Okay, so you did better than on Surviving Maine.
Yeah, I did a lot. I'd say I played my best game ever.
Yeah.
I mean, so like, my end game might not have been the best, but like, I played my best game ever. I'm proud of myself, and hopefully I could go back again to, like, Maine someday, and like, see what I could do again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I'm proud of myself.
Yeah.
Tough. You have tough people, tough castaways. Everyone put their all in it.
Yeah. So let's go back to day 2 when you guys lose your first immunity challenge. What's going on? There seemed to be a lot of scrambling and lots of talking, lots of names being thrown out.
Oh my. So like, if I can remember, the scrambling was like crazy. It's just like you see on Survivor. People talking to people talking to people. And I knew I was safe because I never heard my name that was brought up.
Mm-hmm.
I was hearing me and Nick had a conversation, and I was like, however you will vote, I will vote with you. And I told him that. And the very first person he told me was Jasmine.
Oh.
So Jasmine was supposed to be the original boot, I believe. And then it from him to Nick, I've heard Nick's name, Trek's name, and then Cameron's name, and then it, just like it was going to be Nick. And that was a hard vote because, like, I really wanted to get more close to Nick and stuff. But, I mean, just like, here's the top dog out of everyone. They just wanted him gone, and I was okay with that.
Who was it that you talked to that convinced you to vote for Nick?
I think it was Trek, maybe. But, like, overall, like, Nick originally wanted Jasmine, and then I talked to people, and just, like, everyone was going to do Nick. And
Mm-hmm. So you had to go with the numbers.
Yeah. Right before Nick goes, like, he turned. Why did I have to sit right next to him? He turns to me and he's like, "Did you vote for me?" And I just shook my head because, like, what are you going to tell him, like, right before votes are read? So
Yeah.
like, oh no, it's hard. But Nick's a really cool dude, and I really want to see him have like another shot at this because, like, he went home way too early, but
Right.
for a good cause for my game.
For a good cause.
Yeah.
So the second tribal that day also seemed pretty easy. What happened there? I think that was when Tricky was voted out, yeah?
Tricky was going around, and of course, me and Cameron made a final two deal. And so Tricky informs me that Cameron would be the name he would want to do. And just like, so I told Cameron, and that got Cameron's attention real fast. And just like, I don't know, like, the thing about Tricky is, if I could think back, like, earlier, there was a scenario where it was me, Trek, Jasmine, and either Becca was there, and we was all just talking about, like, just us coming together as a unit of, like, a little alliance. And Trek wanted to pull in Sarah, and I think Jasmine wanted to pull in Brandon, but, like, it never got official. And so we, like, talked about working together, but it never became a thing.
Okay.
And so then later, I was idle searching with Jasmine, and I was mentioning, like, does this sound like a good plan with what Trek wants to put together? And she's like, yeah, let me think about it. But then, like, right before we went to, like, the first tribal, she said that Trek wanted to get me out.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And so Jasmine said that. So, like, coming to Tribal 2, I knew I had to get, like, Trek out.
Yeah.
He's a good player, but, I mean, I think it was his dream to play this game, and, like, I know he got the full experience. It might have been cut short, but he got to, play the game, and I'm really happy for Trek.
Okay, what happened after that? At that point, you guys were down Karen, Nick, and Tricky. So then the swap, right? So you guys, well, first of all, the blonde Jasmine from Skitter Tribe quit the game. which gave you guys an advantage because it evened out the numbers. And then you go into the swap. So you end up on a tribe with Sarah and 3 Skitter players. How did you feel about that?
I have apologies for Sarah if I ever called her decision not the smartest. I mean, it was not the smartest. She looked at Sarah is an awesome person. And she looked at this like, how do you win a challenge? Yeah, she stacked up people to win a challenge, but she did not think long term. If she thought long term, she was captain. If I was captain, I would have picked majority Lombard and then left Skitter, but she just didn't, and I don't know why, but she wanted to win the challenge, and I understand that, but when you play a game, you gotta look long term, like on any decision, even if it's picking new castaways for your swap.
Yeah.
And so,
that was definitely Sarah's fatal mistake, was the people she chose. Choosing Toby first was kind of crazy. I think everyone was shocked. And even you thought that she said Tony. Well, I think everyone thought that. And then she's like, no, Toby. No, what? Why?
Yeah, I know. I thought she said Tony. So I'm like running out first. And then next thing you know, I'm picked last.
Yeah.
But
that was crazy.
I mean, I just wish that she would have thought about her game long term, because like, had she just picked the right people, she would have made merge. Guaranteed it.
Yeah. So I'm really interested in this part. I'm really interested in what made you flip on Sarah when you guys lost that challenge and had to go to tribal.
See, the thing is about it is Toby was pressuring me to, I kind of felt like I was still at the bottom of Lombard. And like because like you saw a tribe swap, my final 2, my buddy Cameron didn't pick me.
Yeah.
He had many times to pick me, he never picked me.
Okay.
So that kind of like, I was like, why would my final 2 buddy not pick me? I mean, so like, I don't know. That kind of got to me, you know, kind of hurt my feelings a little bit. But going in this, you know, situation, I just had to look at it like, what can I do to survive? And Toby, he was like, I kind of had him convinced if I would side with Skitter, that they should keep me over Sarah, and then I would screw over everyone in Lombard and just vote them all out. But just long term, that would not look good for my character as a person in this game, and I just could not do it. But at the time, I had Toby's trust, Emily's trust, and Forrest's trust, and just like I made it seem like I was going to ride with them, and I kind of wanted to, but like just looking at my whole experience, like, no, there's no way I'm going to get to the end doing this, because like I'd be outnumbered by Skitter. So
right, you would have been on the bottom there.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like you really did want to do that, but it was also at the same time a strategy just to save yourself at that tribal.
Yes, and just earlier in the game, I told at a previous tribal council that I was not going to vote for her. I was the first tribal with Nick home, and I think Sir got it mixed up as like I would not vote for her in this game
ever.
And
yeah.
just like I think she had that whole aspect on that, which I never said the whole, you know. So I had to look out for my game. I wanted to, like, the first challenge post swap, we won. The second challenge we lost after swap, and I didn't know if last minute, if, like some of the Skitter people were going to write my name down. So I just went along, wanted to go with Sarah, and it was just nothing but a game move. If we had majority going into the second tribal post swap, I would not have wrote Sarah's name had she had we had more Lombard people. But it's just it's a game, and I had to look out for my interests because I didn't know for sure if at the next challenge if we were going to merge yet. There could have been another tribal, but
right.
I mean,
who did Sarah vote for at that tribal council?
She voted for Emily, and she wanted me to also, but I did not.
Did either of you try to get Toby or Forrest to vote out Emily?
She tried everything in her book. I talked to Forrest, I talked to Toby, I talked to Emily. There's no way they were going to vote out each other. So it's either me or Sarah. So I just wrote down a name that I knew was going to go. So
yeah, I mean, it makes sense.
Better her than me in that scenario. No.
Yeah.
But Sarah's a great person. She's a great game player. And I got nothing but great things to say about her.
Yeah. Yeah. So after this, is it the merge after this?
Yes.
Okay, so tell me what's going on at the merge.
Well, right before, we merge, our tribe, because I'm on Lombard, we swap, I stay on Lombard, and we made our tribe camp look like a hotel. It was like a 5-star, 10-star, like, hotels, and, like, all of us, like, made that so nice. So it's, like, really good to come back to after merge and show everyone the hard work we did. But, yes, after Sarah went home, we did merge. So that was a lot of fun. And it's like the whole game is now with like people like quitting the game and just like we was somehow some way we had the advantage now after the few tribals, because apparently the past few tribals Jessica was like finding idols, because she was on the bottom, and like Jessica's gameplay is amazing. I call her the idol queen. But just like going into merge, we were so shocked because we have the double tribal council and stuff, and so like I was shocked to see her back, and just like we had a good vibe, and somehow some way we had the numbers Lombard. So I mean,
yeah,
it's always good to have numbers going into merge.
Yeah, that was really lucky. You guys really lucked out with having the advantage in numbers at the merge, because it shouldn't have worked out that way. But I think Jessica's idol finds and plays were the key to that.
Yeah. I mean, I think she played like back-to-back idols and stuff, and she's just a great player, and I was so shocked to see her there. Honestly, I thought we was going to go into merge, and somehow Skitter was going to have the numbers. That's what it looked like going into the merge, that they were going to have the numbers.
So if Skitter had the numbers, would you have kept to your word that you gave Toby that you would have voted with them at the merge?
Possibly. I would have played each round differently, but like, see, I don't know the scenario because I wasn't in it. Just like, there's a lot of big of what ifs. like, I don't know. Like, going into, I don't know, I was just looking out for myself, just overall. And I just wanted to do what was best for me. And I don't know what would have happened. I honestly don't. Like, maybe we could have took moves and shots at, like, Brandon and Jasmine, break them up as a duo.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know. But, like, just the way things played out, like, they played out. So
Yeah. So the way it did play out was that you stuck with Lombard at the merge, and you guys ended up voting out Emily at the merge. What went into that decision?
We thought Justin or we thought Toby had the idol. So it was like, they're going to play idol regardless because we know they have it. So we're like, why waste our votes on a big target where we could just take out Emily? And from there, like, the merge, just like every challenge was like, the voting process was getting easier and easier. But like, Emily's a great person. I really wish I got to know her or like talk to her. It's just like, but she had to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys voted out Forrest at the next tribal council, right?
Yeah.
It was Emily and then Forrest. Why did you choose Forrest?
The reason why we went for Forrest is I didn't want to personally, but like, I was just sticking with Lombard, going with what they wanted. But like, at first, he gave everyone bad vibes.
Yeah.
And I just wish like he would have not quit the jury. I just wish he would have stuck around and been a jury member. Just like, once you get jury, I've never had that,
Yeah.
chance to be on jury, but like, jury is like a big spot. You crown the winner, so like, I don't know.
Oh well.
We all have our thoughts about it. But yeah.
So now after this, I think this is when Toby gets voted out.
Yeah, and I think that's the round that I believe that I won immunity. I just felt like just getting farther and farther in the game, like, people from Lombard was really trusting me and stuff, and just overall, I mean, like, I don't know, just like, I really started to play hard and just play for myself, and just like, I don't know, I was really like growing like a butterfly, like I was blossoming in the game, and I'm just like, once you hit merge, like, you really get to play the game. So
Yeah.
I mean, Toby, I wish I could have worked with him in the scenario he wanted me to work with him in. Just like, he was a threat, and just after like we voted out Emily, me and him, like, I don't know, he kind of clashed me a little bit, and like trying to say I'm going home next, but like, obviously I didn't, but just like,
Toby said you were going home next?
yeah, like right after yeah, right after the Emily vote.
Yeah.
And no, after he got booted. But so I don't know, but I think I proved what I had to prove in the game.
Yeah.
But just overall, Toby's a good dude, and I just like would have loved alliance with him. I would have loved to work with him. I just didn't feel secure going forward with him, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, makes sense. Okay, so what is your strategy at this point?
When we started getting after merge and stuff, like, me, Cameron, and Becca wanted to have a final three together, And I was really feeling Cameron, and I was really feeling Becca. I also got positioned a final three with me, Jasmine, and Brandon.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I had things going on, like people wanting to bring me in.
Yeah.
So
you never really had to choose a side. You were just playing that middle within Lombard, yeah?
Yeah, like people legit wanted to bring me in. And then I was kind of working with Jess on the side too. And I don't know, I was really close with Jasmine. I was really close with Cameron the most. And
Yeah.
Becca. So, I mean,
Yeah.
once you dwindle down in numbers, like, people get voted off and just yeah.
So you guys continued to take out the Skitter tribe with Justin going next.
Yeah, and that was kind of a fun tribal council because, like, we were all, like, whispering each other and
Yeah.
towards, like, just, like, and I believe that's a tribal that Becky won.
Yes.
The challenge,
Yeah.
standing on the log. So, I mean, props to her.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, just I like the whole whispering thing. I thought that was really cool because apparently we could have talked to tribal, and just like overall, Justin was like the biggest threat left in the game, so we had to boot him. And I never really talked to Justin,
Yeah. How was Justin a threat?
He's a big dude. You go back a few challenges earlier to where you got the net and the ball, and he's just catching them in the air, scoring points for.
Yeah, but those are tribal challenges, though. When it came to individual challenges, he did really badly. So it didn't seem like he was much of a threat at all.
I don't know. We just looked at him as a big threat. He's a big muscle dude, and
yeah,
we just didn't want to have him go further,
However, the very next tribal, you guys vote out Jess. Were you in on that one?
Yes, I was, and that tribal sucked because I wanted to see Jess go a little further, but right before that tribal council, Jess comes up to me and she's like, I got plans to talk with you after this tribal council. So apparently Jess wanted to make moves with me after the tribal council, but right after that, the vote was supposed to be for Becky. Becky was supposed to go home, and then last minute, Cameron, Jasmine, Brandon, they're let's blindside Jessica. So I didn't want to. And when I got to the final 7, final 6, it got so hard. The hardest 2 rounds in the whole game was getting into the final 7, the final 6. When you get that small in numbers, people you're working with, and you get that down to people you get really close with, people you really trust, it is so hard. So going into round 7, I was convinced we were voting out Becky.
Yeah.
And then I was hit last minute, let's blindside Jessica.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't want to, but I voted. So
what do you think did you ever talk to her afterwards about what her plans were?
Well, I talked to her after the game, and she said she did legitimately want to work with me.
Yeah.
And, because I kind of wanted her to, the Final Four. I didn't see her as a big threat. I saw her as a really good player that we clicked well together when we chatted and talked to, and just out of respect, she's a great player. So final 7 rounds, final 6 rounds are tough.
Yeah. At that point, then, so it's you, it's Jasmine, Brandon, Cameron, Becca, Jess, and Becky. Who did you think you had the best chance of beating in the end out of all of them?
I thought I would have had a shot over Becca, probably. But, like, I don't know, like, because I kind of knew, like, after the final 6, Tribal, like, they were kind of just, like, pulling me to the end because they thought they could beat me. So, and I don't know. I mean, Survivor is a hard game. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm just, really proud for, like, going as far as I did, So.
Yeah, absolutely. I would be proud too. Shit.
Yeah.
So Becca's actually the next one out. Were you disappointed by that?
That round.
That was a crazy one.
Round 7, round 6, both the hardest rounds besides the finals. Man, there's like so much on my mind. Okay, like at that point, we were then gonna vote out Becky. We all had it in our heads. Okay, last minute, right before we walk over the tribal area, Becky comes up to me and they say, "Hey, they're going to take themselves to the end. We need to make a move." And then at that point, Becca was like, "Becky has an idol." So now, like, our idol is probably going to be played this round, thinking that I got Becky to show me her idol, like open her jacket, actually show me her idol, and I was like, thinking in my head, yeah, she's probably gonna move it. So at that point, I got so deep in the game because I believe we were at final 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was so deep in the game, and I had a presumption that, and they wanted to vote Cameron's name down at that tribal. I was not going to do that. And I told him, I am going to vote Becky because I wanted to still show my loyalty to, Cameron and stuff. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, this round was like one of my mistakes, but one of my biggest mistakes. But I told, Becky to use the idol because I figured after she showed me she was going to play it to save herself. So I told Becky, like, hey, they're going to vote for you, but I'm still going to vote for you too. You play your idol, and then whatever happens, happens, and whoever you guys vote for goes home. And I said you could vote for, like, Brandon. And then last night, I said Cameron slipped out of my mouth, even though I didn't want to. And this final 6 rounds sucked so much on my part. I should have thought it more clearly because I was hit last minute before Tribal. I got shown an idol. And now thinking about it, we should have split the votes. That's all we had to do. Because I did not want Becca to go home in that round. I was working with Becca. Never wanted Becca to go home in that round. And to save myself, I voted Becca that round, And after, when we were going back.
Revote, yeah.
But I talked to Becky afterwards, and I talked to Becca afterwards. And, like, that round, all we had to do was split the votes. They could have voted Cameron, I could have voted Brandon, and then Brandon would have went home, and then we would have been safe. And right before Tribal, I turned to Becky, but I was thinking in my head, but I didn't say it. But I was going to ask her, like, hey, should I vote Brandon? But it never came out. And then the craziest tribal council you ever seen was like all the votes being canceled out. I almost went home that tribal because Brandon was trying to vote for me the second time we were voting, but Jasmine had my back. Cameron had my back, and it was like, no, if you vote Tony, you'll go home. And it was the craziest tribal ever, and I stayed, and sadly, Becca went, and after the game, me and Becca talked about what we could have done, because after the game, I spent a night at her house before I went home, and me and Becca talked nothing of game, life, and everything, and so round 7 was crazy.
Yeah. So do you think then that if you could only do one thing differently, that would have been it, was to vote Brandon at that very first vote?
Yeah.
That would have changed a lot of things in the game.
I know. I mean, I would have changed who won. I mean, so that was my big mistake, that round and stuff. And here's something we should now know. Here's a survival rule.
Yeah.
When you know someone is going to play an idol, and you tell them to play an idol, don't write their name down. Write someone else's name down.
Yeah, that anyone. Yeah.
My big mistake,
Yeah.
My one vote could have been the difference. So I'll now know that going forth in future games.
Yeah. Now you know.
Yeah.
Well, cool. So that crazy tribal happens. Now it's final 5, yeah?
Yeah.
So you had the wood chopping and fire making challenge, and you and Becky end up with these giant pieces of fresh wood that you have to hack through with a little hatchet. And both of you had a really hard time when everyone else could just pick up their branches and snap them in half, basically, with their hands. What were your thoughts about that challenge?
All right, the chopping wood was fun. I was having fun on it. The previous challenge, Jasmine won immunity.
Yes.
So this time, it was us, Lombard, and Becky, and so we knew who was going to vote for. Scenarios were being tossed around with, had Cameron not won immunity that round. And I gave it my all in the wooden, but when it came to fire, I've never practiced making fire. My flint piece broke off, so I was literally couldn't,
Yeah.
So at that moment, I was like, we got to get Becky out now. She played her idol. We don't want her going further, or she could win this game. So I kind of gave my, wood and everything to Cameron, because his fire was building.
Yeah.
And then it was going, and then Becky was going up, and then hers going down. So I gave my wood, and I believe Jasmine gave some of her wood to Cameron, and then Cameron won the challenge. And I kind of did that to kind of sabotage Becky.
Yeah.
To get her out, because and I wanted to kind of help Cameron, because knowing the previous round I said his name, so I kind of felt bad for that. But just going with, I wanted to be get into the final 4 with Lombard, so
yeah,
all blue. So I mean, I bet it's fun to watch, and I just can't wait to watch this the whole season. All these challenges just play out,
Yeah, that was an exciting one. So this must have been the easiest vote for you guys. No question, right?
I mean, it's just crazy. 2 tribals ago, we were supposed to vote out Becky.
Yeah.
But we didn't. And now we finally get her out. I mean, it's just amazing how, just like Becky, you get, one person and you try to get rid of them, but you can't. It's just like looking back at Jessica. They scared to try to get rid of her, but she just kept on going round after round. So, it's amazing, the elements and how do you think your back is against the wall? But like, sometimes things go your way and things don't go your way.
Yeah. So the final four, there you are. And
yeah, Cameron really had my back that round because this was the round deciding who got into final three. And this is crazy. Like, had Brandon and Jasmine just stuck together and me and Cameron stuck together, like, I don't know, somehow, some way, Cameron talked to them and convinced Brandon to vote out Jasmine. And I told Cameron I wanted me, Jasmine, and Cameron to go to the final three. I wanted that to go back. I think Jasmine deserved it, you know? And just like I told Cameron, like, Brandon is likable. He could win this, you know? So
well, you were right about that.
I would love to have seen Jasmine into the final three with me and Cameron. I think that would have been a great final three.
Yeah. So you had a final two deal with Cameron since like day two, so you must have felt really good when he won.
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing about it is he had my back.
Yep.
He told Brandon, he told Jasmine, I want Tony to sit next to me in the finals. He told him that. So they both knew that when we were final four after the challenge.
So then why didn't Cameron listen to you and vote out Brandon instead of Jasmine?
I really don't know. Obviously, he was thinking about his game and who he could beat. And I don't know, maybe if Jasmine got to the final, she could have won it all. I mean, it's
yeah.
I mean, she's I'll call her, she's a notorious player. And she's an awesome ally. I mean, I would have loved to see that final three scenario.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of us would have. Yeah. So you want to talk about your final tribal then?
All right. I don't know. The final tribal, okay. We had lots of time. We had, I don't know.
You had at least an hour.
Seemed like,
yeah. Maybe two.
Yeah, we had an hour. And I would have never thought myself, I would have seen myself like being in the jury. I would never imagine being in the finals. So like, this is new to me. I never thought about racking up together a final speech. So that was my big flaw. I really wish Liza would have gave us paper and pen, because had I write out a speech, and then memorized it, my speech would have been a lot better. But just like, I've never been in this scenario, so this is all new to me. And I thought about things where I did. I thought about mistakes where I did in my game. And I included them in my speech. And sometimes I don't think I should have. And I don't know. I think I sabotaged myself in my final jury speech. But I've never been in this position before, so I didn't know what to do. And just because when Jasmine came up and during the question, and she's like, you seemed a little bit disloyal now. And so I think there's a bunch of stuff I could have not brought up. I shouldn't have brought up the Becky showing me the idol, the whole, it's just hard just going in that situation.
You think that was a mistake?
Yeah, I think.
What would you have not said that you said?
I don't think I should have mentioned that just in general, and because once the jury realized that, like, I told Becky to play her idol, like, I don't know. But I don't know. Overall, I've just never been in that.
Is there anything that you did not say that you think you should have said?
See, I thought about this over and over again, like after the game, like what I could have said in my final speech, and just, I don't know, just the whole speech thing is so hard for me, you know.
Well, Tony, it's funny that you say that because you did something that I have never seen anyone do, and you stood up and got really passionate, and I was like, whoa, Tony, do you remember this? You stood up, you were like jumping all around, you were really passionate about what you were saying, and I was like, oh my gosh, he could get some votes here with how passionate he's being.
I mean, yeah, I was passionate because, like, the whole game's emotional it's more than an emotional roller coaster.
Yeah.
It's more than falling in and out of love because you're in love with the game as Survivor. And I gave it my all. I don't know if I said the right things in my final speech. I probably think I had maybe the worst final speech ever. I don't know, but
not at all.
I was very passionate, and just, I don't know, just looking at it, I kind of seen that, like, other players were closer to Cameron and Brandon, and then that aspect, and then the other aspect of going into merge, me not working with Forrest, Emily, you know, because, like, I know Toby did mention it, you know, to, like, Justin, and, like, right at merge said, hey, I was going to work with them, and
yeah.
I think they were kind of, like, pissed at me for that. So
yeah.
I think that had a big involvement in me not, you know, getting any jury votes.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it would have been nice to get at least one.
Yeah.
I would love to have one jury vote. And obviously, Becca wasn't going to vote for me because she kind of felt like, you know, I did her wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, it would have been nice to have at least one vote, but I mean, I played my best game ever, and I'm proud of it, you know. So I'm proud for Cameron for coming in second. I'm really proud for Brandon, and he's an awesome guy, you know. He's an awesome character, and he got the title Sole Survivor, and he deserved it. So.
Right. Yeah. Well, you have a lot to be proud of. I mean, overall, your experience is positive.
Yeah.
And you feel good about it.
And I highly recommend anybody wanting to play the next season, because I know it's going to be way more seasons of Maine.
Yeah.
Because I had nothing but positive vibes about everything the whole time I there. And I just recommend, like, anyone wanting to play this game, step up and play it, because, like, it's a great game brought by Eliza and her great production. Everyone's dedicated. Everyone.
Yeah. Well, any final thoughts?
Final thoughts. Just want to say thank you once again to you for this great interview.
Thank you.
To recapping this stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm the best interview or the worst interview, but I've just thinking back. I know we can't remember everything, like names and all the challenges, but it's been a blast.
Yeah.
And Liza herself, like, thank you so much for having Surviving Maine. I mean, I came all the way from Indiana, flew all the way out there to Maine, never been to Maine before, to play one of my best games. And just,
yeah, I
hope that Eliza has an all-star. She has to have one. Make it build up so we have a lot of great players.
Yeah.
But they call the best players back. If I get a call, I will definitely go. And if I get booted off early, I'll help with production. But
nice.
Overall, just like Fairfield, Maine is awesome.
Yeah.
So much effort and love and put in all this.
Well, it was great to talk to you.
Yeah, it's great to talk to you, and I I might have missed stuff, but like I love this podcast. I can't wait to hear the others.
Yay! Okay.
All right, I'll see you.
Bye. What a guy. You just can't not love Tony. What a guy. Puts a big smile on my face. So happy I got to do that interview with him. Keep an eye out because my interview with the runner-up of Surviving Maine is coming in just a few days. Until then, subscribe to the channel, join our viewer group on Facebook, find the Surviving Maine Facebook and Twitter pages, and follow those to get updates on applications for the next season. Check out the Live Reality Games YouTube channel for interviews with lots of other players and recaps of every episode. And tell your friends. Okay, bye.